Now, January is Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and this year's theme is Activate Connections to Prevent Human Trafficking. This is the very fitting, as today's event is intended to highlight the ongoing collaborative partnership between the airport and our stellar coalition of state leadership, law enforcement, and community groups, including federal leaders, to combat human trafficking in our area. At ATL, again the world's busiest and most efficient, we remain committed to stopping those who traffic men, women, and children throughout the airports and the community. This commitment began in November of 2016 when we held our first Human Trafficking Stakeholder Forum. Today, we remain steadfast in our efforts to prevent human trafficking, not just here at Hartsfield-Jackson, but beyond the globe. We are grateful to be joined by leaders representing entities who stand arm in arm with us in this fight. You'll hear from them later in just a moment, but first, I would like to introduce to you this morning to one of those whose efforts most fierce proponents, the General Manager of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airports, and my boss, Mr. Ballroom B. Biadori.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Andy did mention that we're the world's busiest airport. I just want to highlight, not only we are the world's busiest airport, but last year we're the only airport on the globe that broke 100 million passenger transitioning through a single hub, and that's Atlanta Airport, under the great leadership of my boss, the Honorable Mayor Andrew Dickens. So thank you, boss, for your support. Good morning, everyone, and welcome as we continue our focus to stem the flow of human trafficking. This is an evil blight in our world, and it costs and it ruins a lot of lives worldwide. That is why our collective work is so important today. And in cooperation with our many partners, especially the Attorney General and his office, we have made it perfectly clear over the many years that human trafficking through ATL will not be tolerated. Today you will hear from a number of speakers on our ongoing effort to eliminate human trafficking. And first and foremost, I would like to introduce my boss, the 61st Mayor of our great city of Atlanta, the Honorable Mayor Andrew Dickens.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, B, for that introduction. As 2023 wound down, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport was once again very, very crowded, and it was crowned the world's busiest and most efficient airport in the world. That's a title this airport has actually earned for the past 26 years, and we are extremely, extremely proud of that. But unfortunately, though, our success works against us when it comes to human traffickers, those people who profit from buying and selling human beings for sex and for labor. As you have heard, January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, a time when we speak to the public about the ways that we can partner to prevent this crime. UNICEF says trafficking is one of the most profitable illegal industries in the world, second only to the drug trade. Meanwhile, Georgia remains in the top 10 states with the highest human trafficking numbers. But if there is one thing lawmakers on both sides of the aisle can agree on, is that the bad actors who profit off of exploiting other human beings, including our children, will find no sanctuary here in Georgia. And you'll hear from the great Attorney General Carr, who's going after the buyers as well as those who traffic in Georgia. This fight against human trafficking is truly a group project, as I like to say, and the City of Atlanta is proud to work alongside our federal and state and county partners to shut down those responsible for these crimes. And as you'll hear, we are also engaging the public, encouraging them to speak up, and if they see something, to say something. If something looks sketchy, even by a little bit, just say something. And so we will continue to shine a light on this crime when not only our partners do so, but when the public does so as well. So up now is the Attorney General of the state of Georgia, Attorney General Carr, who created the state's first ever human trafficking prosecution unit, which has already seen success. So thank you. Come on up, Attorney Carr. Thank you.
Good to see you. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for your leadership in so many different areas. Andy and B, thank you very much for having me as well. As the former Commissioner of Economic Development, I have to say how fortunate we are to have Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. The upgrades are unbelievable. The amount of work that's been done is just stunning. And to all of our friends who are walking past us right now, just remember, if your business was headquartered or located here, you'd be home right now, okay? Just remember that. Yeah, I'll take a round of applause on that. Again, thank you all for being here for this important press conference. And again, I appreciate B, Andy, and Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport for their fight against human trafficking. The fact of the matter is there are those in our society who are buying and selling children for sex. And when they do, they destroy a child's life, their youth, and their innocence. And in Georgia, we have chosen to say no more, not on our watch. We're grateful that in 2019, with the support of Governor Brian Kemp, First Lady Marty Kemp, and leaders in the General Assembly, we took historic action to create Georgia's first statewide human trafficking prosecution unit. And now we are working hand in hand with all levels of law enforcement to arrest and prosecute offenders and rescue victims of sex trafficking. Today, we have 39 defendants who are currently under indictment. This includes an individual in Clayton County who we allege was involved in the sex trafficking of an adult female with a developmental disability. And just last year, we led and assisted 81 case investigations and rescued and assisted 129 victims. I say it all the time, that's 129 lives that will forever be changed. And we also secured 29 new convictions across the state. And I want to thank Atlanta Police Chief Darren Shearbaum for working with us through several of those investigations. We're stronger together. We're grateful for our partnership with the Atlanta Police Department. We thank you, we thank the mayor, and we thank the men and women of APD for all that you do. We are also successfully addressing the issue of demand by holding buyers accountable. Recently, we secured the convictions against 10 traffickers in Fulton County in a case that stems from our recovery of a 17-year-old girl in College Park. By continuing to follow up on every lead, our team was able to identify and arrest 9 of her buyers along with her primary seller. And every one of those men is now in prison. And overall, we've maintained a 100% conviction rate by remaining steadfast in our commitment to ensuring that justice is served. Looking ahead, we'll continue to partner with our new gang prosecution unit, the Atlanta Police Department, and others to combat gangs who are engaged in human trafficking as a primary means to make money. We'll also continue to focus on investigations involving missing children, who we know are more vulnerable to human trafficking. Whether they have left home voluntarily or not, children who are missing are more likely to be approached by a sex trafficker. And we must do everything we can to locate and protect them. Whether it's Jennifer Swain and Youth Spark or Mayor Dickens and his administration, there are a lot of great partners working in this space, and we are proud to be in this fight with them. And as I travel the state, it's clear that Georgians are more aware than ever before of the horror of human trafficking. Education is key to combating this issue and protecting our children. And I do want to thank Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport and Delta Airlines for their commitment to training and serving as our eyes in the sky. To close, let me reiterate again how much we appreciate our partnership with B and Andy and Hartsfield-Jackson community. By leveraging our unique resources and assets, there are many ways that we can come together to shine a light on this evil industry and fight back. The more people we have working together, the more lives we can save. And I'm confident that our strong, unified stance against human trafficking sends a strong signal that the state of Georgia will not tolerate those who abuse and exploit our children for sex. Thank you. Thank you very much.
A quick aside, if I may, a few years ago when we first started putting this program together, we reached out to state officials and Attorney General Carr responded immediately and has been here ever since we've started this. So again, General Carr, thank you very much for your effort and ongoing participation in this. Thank you for those words. As we work toward winning the battle against human trafficking, partnership, as just described, is key. Partnership from the states to the federal levels as well. Our next three speakers embody that a great deal. First, we will hear from Atlanta Police Chief Darren Shearbaum. Chief Shearbaum joined the Atlanta Police Department in 2002 and was appointed the 26th Chief of the Department by Mayor Dickens in October of 2022. We'll also hear from Antrell Tyson, who serves as the Region 4 Director of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. He's vigilant in serving some of our most vulnerable children, youth, and families in the southern states. And then following Mr. Tyson, we will hear from the Executive Director of Youth Spark, Jennifer Swain. Jennifer does an incredible job, as Youth Spark was the airport's first partner advocacy group to address human trafficking. She's been here since the beginning as well. Ms. Swain, thank you for being here. Chief Shearbaum.
Well, good morning, everyone. B, thanks for having us. I want to start by acknowledging the men and women of the Atlanta Police Department. You see many of them, thank you, around this terminal, but thank you for your service to our city, keeping the world's busiest, most efficient, and safest airport in operation, and thank you for protecting Atlanta, Georgia. Mr. Mayor, thank you for obviously the opportunity to serve and making public safety the cornerstone of your administration. You make sure everyone, regardless of who they are, have the protection and the dignity of the law. And I want to appreciate you doing that. That's why we're here today. And Mr. Attorney General, for your partnership on every neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia, thank you. Last year we fought gangs, guns, and drugs throughout all 245 of our neighborhoods. We saw a reduction, thankfully, in homicides and in shootings in our city. But we saw reductions in human trafficking through that efforts, because the gangs that are pulling triggers across this state are the same gangs that are trafficking individuals. You may look at this group and think it's only the duty of the elected or those that wear the uniform to stop human trafficking, but that is not the case, ladies and gentlemen. We are only effective in stopping human trafficking if the citizens of this state, the citizens of this city are alert, have educated themselves about what is human trafficking, and will alert those in the fight that they are needed. And so I encourage everyone, when you leave here today, make sure you are educating yourself. What are the indicators of human trafficking? And you're using 911 and Crime Stoppers as a means to alert us where we need to go. And it's also important to remember, this isn't just something that's happening in someone else's neighborhood or somewhere else in the state or in the large urban area. Just last night, Mr. Mayor, I received a telephone call from the Commissioner of DFACS here in Georgia. Not one, but two young ladies had been taken out of human trafficking that very day in an urban county and were inside the city limits receiving medical care, and she needed assistance transporting them to the next location where their care was happening. That was last night, ladies and gentlemen. Two young ladies were rescued from human trafficking right here in the region. This is Georgia's fight. This is Atlanta's fight, and you are not just the elected or the police that's going to bring this scourge to an end. It is all of us, because we care, and we're going to report what we see. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Attorney General. Thank you all for doing your part in this fight.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, B and Andy and Mayor Dickens, for having me to speak today. And thank you, Attorney General Carr and Chief Shearbaum, on your vigilant effort in stopping human trafficking here in the state of Georgia, in the city of Atlanta. Again, my name is Antrell Tyson, and it gives me great honor to be here today representing the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services on behalf of the Biden-Harris administration as we work to recognize National Human Traffic Prevention Month and shine a light on the toll that human trafficking takes on individuals, families, and communities. As Andy mentioned, this year's theme is Activate Connections to Prevent Human Trafficking, which builds upon the work that we're doing on the federal level to increase individual, family, and community resilience when it comes to human trafficking. In 2000, Congress passed the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, and since then, in its subsequent reauthorizations, we have created a three-pronged federal approach and framework to prevent, protect, and prosecute human trafficking. And at the heart of this framework is a fourth P, which is partnership, which serves as the fundamental tool for achieving progress across the three Ps and helps us engage various sectors in society in the fight against human trafficking. At HHS, we remain committed to play our role in the federal government's effort to prevent and respond to human trafficking through our task force through our task force to prevent human trafficking, which is comprised of a 21 division and offices across HHS, including our Administration for Children and Families, our Health Resources and Services Administration, or HRSA, our Office of the Assistant Secretary of Health, or OASH as we like to call it, and our Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services, or SAMHSA. But first, I would like to take the opportunity to thank our ACF Regional Administrator, Jackie Mull, and her team who are here today, and there are our leads who lead the department-wide effort to eliminate human trafficking throughout the Southeast. We all know that human trafficking is a dynamic form of violence that is consistently changing as traffickers refine methods of recruitment, control, and exploitation. That is why we rely on our partners at the state and local level and in the private and non-private industries to help us inform, adapt, and modify our strategies so that we remain responsive to evolving changes on the ground. And through our collaboration, HHS and its partners will be better prepared to test and scale solutions to prevent human trafficking and improve the lives of those impacted. So, on behalf of HHS, I hope that our gathering today will spur new connections to increase the network of folks coming together to combat trafficking and to restore the lives of those falling victim to it. Thank you again for the time, and I look forward to collaborating with you as we work to end human trafficking in our nation once and for all. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much to be in the airport for having us here today. I am Jennifer Swain, the Executive Director for Youth Spark, and I stand here in the gap for the young people that we speak of here today. I represent those young people and the team that works with those young people in our Youth Services Center that is based inside of the Fulton County Juvenile Court. We screen and serve young people every day, but only a very small percentage of those young people recognize or identify as a trafficked victim. It is very important that you all recognize that this right here, this exact moment, and this partnership is a reflection of what we can do together to create systems change and ensure that our community and our children know that they are cared for. When our young people are feeling and facing the healing and the trauma, we go beyond that. Mayor Dickens, in your first couple of weeks in office, you wanted to learn more about our work and you kept your promise. You listened to us, you helped us shine a spotlight on young people who were missing, and today I hold space for 16 young people right now that we are all actively working for. When he asked me what we needed, I didn't have an answer. But one of the things that we've been able to benefit from is the Year of the Youth campaign, which provided critical funding for us to go beyond the healing process and give those young people skills, give them trades so that they can take care of themselves and become productive citizens in our community. When we wanted to create a new avenue so that we can have legislative and legal support, Attorney General, your office responded. And with your attorney, Hannah Palmquist, we began to create the framework for our new youth recovery unit that will no longer wait until that runaway child that has had that label needs to be rescued by law enforcement. We know that you, Chief, take care of our children. We know that you respond. But for all of you here and you're wondering why January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, it is because we have the ability of our leadership to take this moment to make sure that everyone knows that this is important. And when our community and our leadership take this as important, it allows us who do the work on the ground to be stronger every day and to have the resources that we need. Right now, we have screened and served 200 children who need us. Young people who do not identify recognize that if we wait to serve them, it costs more money. So we identify them with Fulton County Juvenile Court when they are running away, when they do have unhealthy relationships, when they need therapy services, and when their family needs services. The ecosystem that we sit in is because we don't do it alone. We are the hub in the middle of the spoke at YouthSpark. And we work with our partners at Wellspring Living and the Georgia Center for Child Advocacy and our CSEC response team to ensure that one agency cannot do it alone. This is very hard work, and it is very hard work. But seeing the efforts of everyone here today, the largest airport and the busiest airport in the world taking time out to make sure that we have this platform, it makes a difference. So thank you all for doing what you do, and please know that you help us do what we do, and we will continue to do it well. We will continue to do it boldly. We will stand in the gaps of those young people. We will use their stories to educate others and reach our children. And we will make sure that we hold it accountable and we do the right things by those funds and ensure that we are collecting data so that one day YouthSpark will not exist. January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, but February through December is Human Trafficking Action Month. And now that you know, what will we do? Thank you all for your support.